So now that we have our database, we are going to create a table in that database called Cookie App, and we will add these three fields to it. So we'll go ahead and open up our SQL Pro. To create a table, we're going to hit this plus sign down here at the bottom left corner, and the table name, we're going to call it Cookie App, and say add. And so you can see a couple of things here. We can see the name of the table. We could see the field, right? The different fields we can have here. The first field is the ID, and that is type int. It's type integer. They're whole numbers. And yeah, so we always have an ID in all of our tables, or most of our tables, because the ID allows you to uniquely identify the owner of each table. Okay, so we set this key as the primary key. That means that each of these entries in ID is going to be unique, and they will be able to uniquely identify the owner of that field, or that data. And we're going to say here unsigned, meaning we're not going to go negative. We're going to be starting with, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the first entry that's put in here, ID will be automatically set to 1, right? And you could see here we have auto, right? That means it's automatically set to 1. And then the next field, it'll be automatically set to 0. And then this here describes the length, how many digits long it could possibly be. We have 11, which is absurdly long, but it'll suit our purposes. And I think everything else you can go ahead and leave alone. And so the next piece of data that we want is a username. So let's go ahead and add that. We're going to hit this plus sign down here in the middle of the page, and we will type in user as the field name. The type, we don't want it to be int, we want it to be a string, so we're going to say varchar, I believe, is the one we want to use. Usually it tells us a little bit about varchar, but maybe we can come over here and say SQL varchar just to get a description of what it is. Varchar. Okay, well, yeah, so each of these describe a different amount of text. So if you set it as char, then they're going to be 1 character long. Varchar, it's going to be 11 characters, or however many that you specify here. Tiny text has, a bigger length, as does text and medium and all these other ones here, right? So varchar is going to work for our username. We'll just set it on the PHP side so that they cannot enter one in that's longer than 11 characters long. Unsigned means nothing to us. Zero fill means nothing to us. Binary means nothing. Allow null, allow nothing. No, I do not want to allow nothing. I want to force them to put something in. And that's about it, right? And now, in order to create our login system, we need a username, but we also need a password, right? So let's go ahead and add that, and we'll call this pass. We'll set it up the same as the username, as a varchar. As a varchar, where are you? Okay, and we'll set the let's see, what's this error? Okay, so we can set this to 11. We can, yeah, so I think everything else is pretty good, and there we go, right? So we created a table called Cookie App, and it has 3 pieces of data that it is expecting: an ID, which is going to act as the unique identifier for each set of fields. Right? We have the username and we have the password, and that's all we need to create a login system.